Okay, it's this post right here. And anyway, we got into it. She says, Dear team, would you give me some advice on how to improve the hooves of my horse? I map them nearly every week. The heel is nearly 2 inches. My horse wears 23/7 hoof, hoof shoes. They are very bound and I am soaking for weeks. Should I remove more coronary band from the frog? Uh, More coronary band from the frog. Oh, I see what she's saying. Where to find more information. All right, so we're going to take a look at these feet and uh, one thing we're going to see is that I'm going to have her really clean out some of this sole. I mean, that's a lot of sole. As long as you have all this much buildup of sole, your foot is going to have a really hard time moving very much. But also, she does have a lot of binding. I mean, you can see she says she's soaking it. Well, you can see where the bulbs are coming clear down under the foot right there and how the bulbs have been wrapped around. And one sign of that is when you see this bend in the hoof. Yeah, be paying attention to that on all these people that are now, starting businesses and trimming the heels out of everything they touch. And they're going to show you progression pictures. You're going to start to see the heels bend like this right here. Why is that? Because the whole foot is bending and curling around and curling in. And now look at here. This foot here, this heel here is bent, but look how this heel is totally contracted in towards the frog. So, okay, so here we can really see, as I was looking at, this is what I noticed first. Okay, I did notice the sole build up on the other one, but also here the imbalance that's going on. So what's going on here is that this heel is trimmed out more and it will keep being trimmed out more, except here intact because we actually measure the heels from the hairline to here. These heels don't get trimmed out as much as they would if people are sighting down the foot. Because when they sight down the foot, here, I'll show you what happens. Let me open this. Okay. Open file. Okay, let me change it over. Okay, where are you? Oh, there you are. I gotta reteach myself how to do this every single time. Okay, hold on here. Share. Okay, so I took a copy of this. So uh, now imagine setting that on the ground. Okay, look at how high the hairline is up here on this side compared to over here on this side. So we're going to take this. Let me see here. I'll get a picture of it. Hold on. With the snag it, and I'm going to put it in paint. I'm going to show you what I did and how it worked out, which it worked out pretty cool. And then after I did it, um, uh, I got a living example of the very thing that I was seeing here. Let's see. Okay, so okay, new. Okay, so I got to take this picture. So I have a screenshotter thing that I can also do markups in that Snagit gives. Oops, wait a minute. Let me stop and move all this stuff out of the way. Okay, so we're going to take a picture right here. Oops, what is going on? Okay, do it again. So I take a screenshot off of that in this program I've got called Snipping Tool that comes with Snagit, which is an editor, photo editor, and it also takes video, by the way. And so I'm going to take and I'm going to copy that and I will open Paint. Open Paint. Now I'm going to go to Paint right here. Okay, so we're in Paint. So now I'm going to take a copy of that. I love what they have done to Paint in that you can remove the background now. Okay, so this is too big. I don't want it this big, so I'm going to reduce it halfway. So on that, I just left click and it opens this box and I get resize here like that. And then I can just go up here and I want it to be 50%. See, I want it to be smaller. And then right underneath here, can you see this little box here? Okay. It's got this thing right here, remove background. How handy is that? See, and if you want to, then you can even go up here to where there's a little paint can and you can click on that. I got black and I could give it a black background so that it would stand out more. Uh, what do you think makes it look? You see it better there or there? I'm waiting for feedback.
I like the white just because I'm used to it.
Okay.
I
Me
also
too.
like the white.
White.
Okay. Okay, so here we have the picture. Now, unfortunately, and I wish they would add this, uh, they don't have, uh, you can rotate it, but only in four directions. You can't like, like circle it, that kind of rotation. So, what I do is I'm going to snag another picture of it here. Or, well, I don't even have to use that. I can just use paint. So I'm going to close that. I'm going to go up here to the little square thing and I'm going to take a square of it there and do copy. And then if I go down here, I have this program called Snagit Editor. I'm going to open Snagit Editor, which takes a little bit. There we go. Now let me share that. Okay, so now I'm in Snagit Editor. Now this is what I did from yesterday. So I'm going to clear it out. Now, when you open Snagit Editor, okay, like if I go up here to File and it says New, Open New Image right there, you want to open it where it's got this checkered background because then the background will be clear instead of like you can get different backgrounds, different colors, whatever background you want. You can have this plain white, however you want it, but I want it with the checkered because I don't want it to show up, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. So, oops, that wasn't it. Okay. So now I'm going to paste this foot in there. Now, what I want to do now, first of all, if we set the foot like level like that, okay, you're going to really see how the hairline is, let's see, the hairline is clear over here, right there, and right there. See, I mean, that's quite an imbalance, wouldn't you say? And so, and that would be your horse's setting level here. Well, not even quite. I mean, I think I have this side a little lower or something like that. But here, if we were to measure the heels, they're the same length. The heels are the same length, but obviously there's some distortion going on that's different on this side from this side. And this side is the lateral side over here. And so this is a side that is actually trimmed out more, even though this looks like a real heel. Really, we got kind of false heels on both sides. And so what we're going to do here, I'm going to undo that and go back to square one like so. Okay. So what I want to do is it you wouldn't think that you would want to take this heel lower. I mean, because look, they're both about the same length. Just a minute here. Let me get a different color so I can see better. So from here to here, and see, pretty close. Well, and what you got to do is you got to do this number. That's that one, and this is this one. See how they look same length? Yet this one here is more trimmed out, which pulls the whole bulb down and pulls it forward and pushes the hoof wall out that way. Meanwhile, your foot is only so big, right? Imagine a circle and it's only one size, and I take half of that circle and I pull it this way. What's going to happen here? Okay. What's it do? It takes this side and it pulls it in like this. If I'm taking this side here and I'm pulling it out like so, well, it's going to take this side over here, as I said, and pull it in like that. So, and in reality, what's happening is the capsule itself is being twisted. There's a twist in it. Just like you put a twist, like when you grade lumber, you want a nice flat level 2x4. You come up there and you look down on it, it would never set flat because it would be twisted. And so where it's going to twist, going around this way, is right in the center of the toe, too. Just a minute. It's going to tweak it. Okay? Like if you had trying to figure out how to describe it. Like if you have you're you're holding, I don't know, a piece of plastic book, something in both your fists, and you're holding it level, but you take one fist and you turn it counterclockwise, and you take the other fist that's holding the other end of the object and you turn it clockwise. You've twisted that thing in your hand. You've twisted it. Okay, well, that's what's happening to this hoof capsule. It's literally being twisted. So, anyway, so then it causes this situation going on here. Let me,
Linda,
so, yeah,
can I before we go on, can I ask you, maybe you are going to discuss it, but in this situation, what is going on in the front and laterally and medially?
yeah, well,
Because,
because,
maybe because it's all funny, I wanted to discuss the same kind of topic today.
all right.
Because I have been pondering about it, and I have quite a few horses with feet like that.
Mm-hmm.
And on the right side of the picture, I don't know, maybe it's good if you put lateral and medial. This is
Okay. Okay, this is the lateral over here,
okay, lateral.
and
Okay,
this is the medial.
so that horse probably will be towed in,
Yeah, I
right?
think, yeah, yeah,
So on the medial side, the toe quarters will be running forward more.
yeah.
So on the medial side, the tubules at the toe quarters and the quarters probably will be jammed up and running forward at a lower angle than on the lateral side.
See, what I see is it goes like this. It twists it, pushes this forward, and it goes around like that, pushing everything in that direction, you know, over to here. Um, and then it tweaks the whole thing. So I'm trying to picture in my mind, I got a thing here. If I knew where it was, I could bend it.
I
Ah,
remember you had the plastic thingy.
yeah. So let's
Yeah,
see
yeah, yeah.
here. Okay, so when just in my hand here, and no guarantee that it's doing it right, but I'm holding this in my hand. Okay, if I, that's interesting. Okay, so I hadn't never done this with it before, but you know how I was just describing like if you had even a ruler or something flexible in your hand that's say at least 12 inches long and 2 or 3 inches wide, and you're holding it in your hands, you got your fists, you're holding each side of it, your hands are separated, holding the ends of it. Now, if I take my left fist representing the lateral side there in the picture, and I bend it my fist down, it lifts the the lateral toe up, but it automatically bends the medial toe down. And there's a this thing has a line in the front that shows how uh how it's straight, how what the center of the foot would be. And so I'm looking at it now. I'm going to have to figure out a way to put this on video. I'm looking at it now, and of course I have it the thing spread out, so it's not like it's the shape of the hoof capsule uh exactly, but it still is. It looks like, the stealth bomber. You know, when you take the shape of the hoof capsule and you flatten it out. And so when I pull down, it pushes that lateral toe out, it bends the medial toe down, and it takes the horn tubule that was straight and moves it towards the medial side. This is what I'm seeing here. So now this is what I'm going to do. So that actually made my medial toe. Too bad I don't have a GoPro attached to my head. So what happens now if I decide to lower my medial side? Oh, well, it pushes the whole cliff capsule back around. How about that? So, and this is what uh uh I saw in real time, that if you take and you lower, even though these are the same height, okay, well, wait a minute, let me undo that. Okay, even though technically from here to here and from here to here are the same, we know that they're not, because in reality, this it's in reality. Okay, wait a minute. See the difference? Just a minute. Let me move this down. Let me get it level. This is the reality of the foot itself and the capsule. Even though, because when we're looking at these feet and we're sighting them, we're just looking at this here. Oh yeah, heels are the same length. Our eyes are drawn away from the reality of how the hairline is actually clear up here over here and right here. There is, the hoof wall is this long here and this long here. There's no way that any of that's balanced, you know? And so, but here's the thing. Let me undo all this. What I did was, let's go back to paint just a second here. Um, Now I'm lost. Hold on. Stop share. Okay, so we're going to go back to paint. Okay, so here we are in paint. And so I'm going to take a copy of that. I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to put it over here. And just a second, we'll make this bigger. So we got more whiteboard. And I'm going to flip that over. Well, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Just a minute here. I reversed them. Just a minute here. Okay, there we go. I'm going to move it away a little bit and going to flip it over. I did it again. Rotate. Did I do that right? Just a minute here.
It looks like the reverse image, Linda.
Okay, I don't want that. It gets too confusing. Let me redo it. Um, yeah, okay, I've got the same thing here. It's getting, I'm being confused. Okay, let's just flip it up like that. Okay. Okay, so we see here um that now this, you see how doing that, even that makes this side look long. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, you wouldn't think you would take this side lower, right? But what I'm going to do is I am going to take it lower. So I'm just going to take, just a minute here, about so much lower, which would amount on a real foot to about 1/4 of an inch. There. Okay, now I'm going to take it and I'm going to turn it back over. Oops, that isn't what I wanted to do. Just a second here. Okay, so I want it to be that again. Let's see. Rotate. Okay, I need to. Okay, so now you see I've got it, but it's shorter. You wouldn't think you would take it shorter, right? Okay, but you got to remember you got a living horse with a living foot in there. So hold on here. Let me move some stuff around. This over here. Okay, so now we're gonna paste this down here to show that and do another one here. Just a second, move some stuff. Now, you got to remember this is a living horse and this moves. This part up here moves. And we already see how it's shoved up, right? Okay. So what I did, and again, we're going to see this in real time on a living horse really doing it. Uh, just a second. Okay, so I'm just going to take this side of the foot. Well, here, let's put a line up here first. Just a second. Here, we're going to put a line up here. Okay, right there. So you know that everything here is flexible, right? We can look at this side now and really see how jammed up it really is. I mean, way up. So so I thought, well, I was going to try this, and I had not done this before. I thought, so what would happen if I actually trimmed the horse like this and I took that heel down? Well, this half of the foot would have to settle. Oops, wait a minute. Would have to settle down like so, which this kind of made it way lower and stuff. But to get the idea, see, that might have been, I might have taken off a little too much there. But the point is that this side then has to settle down like that. And then I took and I just kind of raised that up like so. This is what would happen to the horse's foot. Okay, but now, even though you kind of see this like this, you got to remember this side's pushed in, right? Okay, but now look at this. Here's where the wall is here, and see how much closer it is over here. So what is that going to do? And when I did this to my horse years ago, when I had the very asymmetrical foot with the wide side on the lateral and the narrow over here and the wall jammed up here, but lower over here, it everything loosened up. This side got wider. It pushed everything about, and what I can see is it'll also help push your heel back over here. And it'll take this, if you consider the front wall, we're not looking at the front wall, but it's on the other side of here, right? You go straight through, you're going to wind up to your dorsal wall. Well, when this heel gets pushed forward, okay, that dorsal wall, let's say this is the lateral side here, gets shoved like that. And you'll see the horn tubules are crooked. And so this is the medial, let's say this is medial, this is lateral, and the heel on the lateral side is pushed forward, trimmed out more. It's pushed all the horn tubules forward and over slightly. It's going to be like this all the way around. And so when you lower this other heel more, more than the measurement shows for, okay, what it does is it gets this side to then push back around this way and put pressure this way, which will start pushing this heel back as well. As well, everything loosens up on here on this side, and the foot will start to come out like that more. So it just does something to kind of retweak everything. So I made an illustration of what I was seeing. Let's go back to the research page. Just a second here. Do. Okay. Reshare. Hold on. Oops. Wait a minute. Okay. So we're back here. So I made this thing like what I just did there. And look at all these comments. That's awesome. And let's get down here. Well, the first thing I saw was this deal. Well, okay, again, you got to look at our standard oh God, what is the word I'm looking for? Proportional illustration on the basic proportions of the hoof capsule and foot, which are more like this, what I've drawn out here. And so that's the first thing I noticed was that this side is lacking hoof wall, that all this needs to be grown in to where eventually it will raise this whole cartilage up here and add more capsule to the foot back here. Okay, so let's go down here to where I can find, okay. So I wrote this. I wrote this above, we have talked about this before. Yes, this is sure common, what we're seeing here. It said, I had that on all 4 feet because when one heel is more